Hi friends, here's my recap of the Always Rejoice 2020 Jehovah's Witness Convention Saturday morning, part 2. In my convention recap videos, basically what I do is I remove all of the fluff and just leave the real agenda so that we can get a handle of what it's all about. This is the baptism session, so I will focus mainly on Mr. Malenfant's talk towards the end, his baptismal talk. That guy always gave me the creeps, and I'm going to show you why later on. So at the beginning of this session, the viewers are given tutorials on how to use the jw.org research tools that Jehovah provides to equip them to preach more effectively so that they will receive joy. So let's get right to the convention.
Just think what a privilege we have to share with the Almighty Creator of the universe in a work that He considers so important here on earth. He allows us to experience the joy of helping to build people into disciples of Jesus Christ. Jehovah is the one who makes those seeds grow. However, knowing this should not minimize in our minds the importance of our part in the disciple-making work. And Jehovah knows that the more skilled we become at making disciples, the more effective we will be as His fellow workers, and the more enjoyable the work will be for us. To that end, Jehovah equips us to teach as effectively as possible. All we have to do is accept His help, and that is what this symposium is all about. He has given us the right tools, the best tools for our work. Religious falsehoods and erroneous ideas have become strongly entrenched in the minds of sincere people. The Watchtower Library, the JW Library app, the Watchtower Online Library, and the Research Guide. Jehovah wants us to be skillful in using the tools He has provided. You can use them to help you explain and teach the Scriptures. Perhaps you can show your students how to use our tools in order to find the Bible's answers to their questions. Do your best, though, to learn how to use our research tools. You can also use it to good advantage in your ministry. Notes and tags. Notes and tags.
Let's learn how some are using it and then practice together.
I create notes in my Bible for many different reasons.
I've created a lot of notes. For the midweek meeting, I often come across verses that I want to understand better, so I check the research guide. Sometimes I use the points I find in a comment at the meeting.
Knowing that the same kind of sufferings are being experienced by the entire association of your brothers in the world. Yes, Jehovah has given us a large spiritual family, and that shows that He wants us to experience the joy of working together. Take heart. Jehovah has provided help. Jehovah gave Paul the help he needed to have an effective ministry, and that help came in the form of many brothers and sisters. For example, at many Bethel homes, elderly and infirm brothers and sisters are still having a regular and productive share in the ministry. People need to know the truth. May I offer you a suggestion? When we work together and support one another, all of us can find great joy in our precious ministry.
Next up is Garrett Losch, member of the governing body, God's representative on earth. And he seems to struggle a little through his talk. You could see that he's reading the cards, but I don't know if he's just tired or just not prepared. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But, he speaks of sheep-like ones. I don't really know who or what sheep-like ones truly are. Jesus speaks of the sheep and how the sheep will know His voice because He's the good shepherd and He died for His sheep. But it's not about Jehovah's voice. It's about Jesus's voice. But anyway, let's get back to it.
Help! Jehovah becomes our helper not only when we are in danger, helps us to draw sheep-like ones to the truth. Jehovah also gives us the needed strength, which helps us a lot when we are tired or discouraged.
How do we know that Jesus did not become king when He was on earth or immediately after He was resurrected?
Well, Jesus was born king. Did you know that? I wonder where she got that information from. Maybe the research tools on jw.org.
Close friendship with Jehovah belongs to those who fear him. May your joyous friendship with Jehovah and the joyous friendship with disciples of Jehovah last for an eternity.
The time has now arrived for the baptism discourse. How can you candidates for baptism gain even greater joy in the days ahead?
Well, Malenfant is up next, and the first time I heard his name, I knew something was not right, so this is actually what I thought of the first time I heard his name, but I actually wanted to know what his name meant. So I found it in French, it means bad child. So it's no wonder he gives me the creeps. He even makes weird faces. Anyway, let's see what he has to say to the baptismal candidates.
Jehovah God, who is the greatest example of a happy giver. We are made in Jehovah's image. Jehovah God designed us to reflect his personality. We have within us the capability of cultivating the divine quality of generosity, the most important giving that we can do, and the key to happiness in life is to give our Creator what he deserves. Revelation chapter 4, verse 11, sets forth clearly the things that Jehovah God deserves. It says, "You are worthy, Jehovah our God, to receive the glory and the honor and the power, because you created all things, and because of your will they came into existence and were created." We exist because Jehovah created us. That fact makes him worthy to receive from us glory, honor, and power. That's what you candidates for baptism have made the decision to do, to give Jehovah God glory and honor and power. You do this by praising his name, by obeying him, and by using your life, your power, energy, and your whole strength to do his will.
Okay, well, who is Revelation 4:11 speaking of? I mean, the entire book of Revelation, the theme of Revelation, is the revelation of Jesus Christ, not Jehovah. So I want you to please pause this video to read the slides that I'm about to show you, because I'm not going to read the scriptures. I'm just showing you what the King James Bible actually says. So Revelation 4:11 is speaking of Jesus, because Jesus is the only one who is, who was, and who is to come. Jehovah is not coming again, friends. Jesus is also the creator, as I have shown you in many of my videos. He created all things, not all other things, as the New World Translation says. Lastly, I have to show you this now as well, because as in the past, in the comments section, people call me stupid, they call me a fool, because they say that Jesus was created. Well, Colossians 1:18 tells us that rather than the scripture meaning that Jesus was created, it basically states that Jesus is the firstborn from the dead. You see, Lazarus was raised from the dead, but died again. Jesus never died again. So, Mr. Malenfant, are you living up to the meaning of your name as the bad child by misleading people to give glory and power to your God, Jehovah, rather than to Jesus, who died for them so that they may live?
By getting baptized in symbol of your dedication to God, you are declaring publicly that you have given yourself to Jehovah. You have made a gift to God of your heart, mind, and strength, your very being. And you have made this decision because you have come to know Jehovah and you love him. We are happy to acknowledge your decision to give yourselves to God. Your baptism brings you into a special relationship with Jehovah. It allows you to participate in doing his will with his approval because you are obeying him. You become one of Jehovah's witnesses, qualified to present the evidence that Jehovah is the only living and true God.
So if you believe the New World Translation, John 1:1, where it says Jesus is a God, after what this guy just said, does that mean that Jesus is a false God? Think about it, friends.
Because Jehovah focuses on your motive for giving. Jehovah never takes for granted what you do. Jehovah won't forget what you do because you are motivated by love for his name. The commission to make disciples was given not only to the first century Christians, but to all of Jesus' disciples, right down to the time of the end in which we are living.
Friends, Jesus said to teach people to observe his own commandments, Jesus' commandments, not Jehovah. This is another lie from Watchtower.
You may need to give up some time you formerly spent on yourself. But taking the time is worth it. There are sheep out there, but we don't know where they are. And so we try to call on everyone. So don't become discouraged if you don't have the kind of results you anticipated. Just keep on preaching. You are engaging in the most important work being done today. And then the end will come, even when people reject the good news. But you do not let up in preaching the life-saving message of truth. Be courageous and trust in Jehovah and his powerful Spirit to help you. Jehovah invites imperfect humans to cooperate with him, the Almighty Creator, in a special work that he considers highly important. No matter how much you give to Jehovah, you will always get back more than you give. And your giving will continue to bring you happiness. Think seriously about reaching out to serve as an auxiliary pioneer or a regular pioneer. Work at improving the quality of your ministry. As you do, your joy will increase. And in using the teaching toolbox, we are pleased to introduce Sister Lorrainey Jackson. Sister Jackson has been serving for many years with her husband, Jeffrey.
I am shy and reserved by nature. And I remember that when I first learned that Jehovah wants us to preach his good news, I was terrified. And really all I wanted to do was just be quiet and be on my own. And of course, if someone is rude, to try and remain calm and kind. The things that bring me joy are the very things I could not have done without Jehovah's help. And also given me an opportunity to work with Jehovah and really rely on him, and not so much on one's own limitations. Some days are good, and other days I feel like hiding somewhere. And
Jehovah is there to help us. If we trust in him, natural disasters occur, and there is sickness as well as poverty, among many other things. When you read how the brothers respond generously to assist fellow believers who are in need,
well, notice how this extremely wealthy organization is not going to give anything. They make that clear that it's all up to the impoverished publishers to give.
Happy to interview Sister Penny Pierce, who spent decades in special full-time service and traveled to a variety of lands with your husband, Guy, who was a member of the governing body.
So anything that I may give actually comes from Jehovah. Recently, with the coronavirus, we've seen an outpouring of Jehovah's people giving. I felt Jehovah is doing wonderful things in the middle of a tragic pandemic. And I had $25, which I spent completely on food. Now I had $0. We never told anyone we didn't have money. I knew they didn't have money too. We had a wonderful time. When the friends left Sunday night, I had more food than when they came. That food lasted us for 10 days. It's nothing I did. It's what Jehovah did. One never gives to Jehovah and not receive back 100-fold. There is more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. I have to admit, Jehovah spoils me with blessings.
Jehovah has certainly blessed you for your generosity and your warm Christian hospitality. You baptism candidates will rejoice as you sense and are convinced that Jehovah is pleased with what you do. Lending to Jehovah? When we give spiritual or material help to our brothers in need, Jehovah sees and views it as a loan to him. Remember, you can't outgive Jehovah. You feel happy because you are giving of yourself to Jehovah. Serve him forever. May the way in which you live as dedicated servants of Jehovah reflect forever the fundamental truth revealed by Jesus. There is more happiness in giving than there is in receiving.
Baptism candidates in your congregations will have an opportunity to make a public declaration of their faith by answering the 2 questions posed by a local elder.
So what are the 2 important questions? Listen, friends, these baptismal candidates are dedicating themselves to Jehovah and to his organization. They publicly declare that they accept his way of salvation. We must pray for the souls of these people because Jehovah's way of salvation is not scriptural and it leads to destruction. There is only one way of salvation, and that is through the death, burial, and bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ according to the scripture. Scripture makes that very clear, not according to this wicked organization. I don't know a more true definition of a bad child than somebody who is messing with the souls and the everlasting salvation of people. And that's what's happening in this video, and it breaks my heart. We need to pray for these people because they are being led down a path that leads to destruction. They are being misled by false prophets. It's very clear, friends, and it breaks my heart. He didn't raise as a spirit like the New World Translation teaches you. He was raised by the Spirit. The King James says he was quickened or made alive by the Spirit of God. Friends, we've just seen evil in the works where these people are being led down a path that leads to destruction. So please keep them in your prayers. So that's it for today's recap of the Saturday morning part 2 session of the Always Rejoice Convention. Friends, thank you so much for tuning in and watching my videos. If you like what I do and would like to help support me, you'll see links down in the description box as well as to my Facebook page. Thanks for liking and subscribing to my videos, friends. Remember, Jesus is the only way. It's all about Jesus and not Jehovah. I hope you have a great day.